So you've got your demo, you've got your website, and your recording studio is all set up. So where are the clients? As nice as it would be, Voiceover just isn't Field of Dreams. Just because you built it doesn't mean the clients will miraculously just come to you. It'd be nice if they did. What you really need is a strategy to build not just a gig base, but a recurring client base. That's the key. And I've got 7 proven ways to go about it. So today we're taking a look at some of the most common and not so common ways to find voiceover work. And I'm going to give you the pros and cons of each for you to decide what works best for you. And I'll let you know the ones that I use and the ones I don't use as well as a full-time voice actor. Now, getting your demo made and setting up a website are obviously 2 really important marketing pieces that you need to get out of the way pretty early in your voiceover career. And if you've been a voice actor for a while, remember it's also important to keep updating those demos every year or 2 and update your website as your skills grow, as your techniques improve, and frankly, when you offer bigger and better service options. But beyond that, though, it's still up to you to go out every day and find the work, whether you are a beginner or you've been doing this for decades. Number 1, and this is probably the most common, probably the one you've heard the most about, and it's frankly how I started out 15 years ago. Pay-to-play sites. These are your voices.com, Voice123. You pay a monthly or annual fee to be added to the platform's talent database. And on that database, clients, whether they are video production companies or private companies and corporations, marketing agencies, individuals, you name it, they come looking for voice actors to fill roles for voiceover services that they need filled for their productions. So the big positive to go the pay-to-play route is that you are going to have access to tons of auditions every single day. And actually, you should watch my video of what I learned after auditioning over 10,000 times on just one of these pay-to-play platforms. And you're going to find out the important lessons that I learned. So you can check that video out right here. So yeah, access to lots of auditions, which means lots of opportunities for you to potentially book work and meet new clients. And getting to audition quite often is also very good practice, particularly when you're first starting out. It gives you an opportunity to be exposed to all sorts of different kinds of voiceover projects and gigs for you to kind of stretch your boundaries and stretch your skills and really get that daily practice in. So those are all really positive things. And like I said, this is how I started out, and it was, the main way that I did it for many years. And I will be honest, I still book gigs on at least one pay-to-play site to this very day. I just completed a job there just this week. So what are the disadvantages? Well, it's the cost. You do have to pay to play. So monthly or annual fees can be pretty steep, and sometimes you don't have that investment right up front when you're first starting out, and that can be a little bit daunting. Also, the competition on these sites is fierce. I will admit this was one of those things that when I first started out 15 years ago, the pay-to-pay platforms weren't so saturated with voice talent. And so it was a little easier, not saying it was at all easy ever, but there was a little bit less competition, and the really professional voice actors were able to carve out a pocket for themselves and get some good footing. That's not to say you can't do that now, but it is going to be more difficult because the pay-to-play sites don't discern who can pay them to play on their sites. Any average person, any amateur, anyone who just wants to give it a try can whip out their credit card and join one of these pay-to-play sites. And so that means that you're not just competing with other professional voice actors, you're competing with just anyone who thinks that they have a microphone and can do this. And so the key is, with all of that competition, go for it and put those auditions out, because clients will immediately be able to hear which auditions they receive that are completely amateur and not worth their time. You want to stand out among all the competition, but just keep in mind the upfront cost and the continuing cost to pay to play, as well as the stiff and numerous competition, can be a disadvantage, but you can get some positives out of it. But what if you're just starting out and you don't want to drop $400 or more up front to pay to play? Well, that brings us to option number 2, and that is freelance platforms. So here you're thinking about Fiverr and Upwork, obviously 2 of the biggest ones. Now, the advantage with these is that it is free or low cost to start, which can be a great way when you're starting out and you don't have a lot of overhead or capital to work with, to kind of get your feet wet. The other advantage is that you have visibility to global clients. People from all over the world use Fiverr and Upwork. And I will be honest, this was a mistake that I made. I did not get in on Fiverr and Upwork as early as I should have. I wasn't sure, as a voice actor who had been doing it kind of the old-fashioned way for so long, I wasn't too sure about the viability of gig sites and gig work like Fiverr and Upwork. And so I waited way longer than I should have. I have recently built profiles on both platforms, and I am now starting to book work. But it does take a certain amount of time and skill to build your profile the right way and build the right kinds of projects and gigs to offer. So don't make the same mistake I did, and diversify where you are offering your services earlier than you think you should. Now, the disadvantage to these freelancer sites is that it really requires strong branding. And I have figured that out because the talent is starting to be saturated in the voiceover realm on these sites. And so your branding and the composition of what you write in your gigs and how you structure the payments and so forth really is going to be key to getting noticed. And rates on these sites can be a race to the bottom. It was one of the things that turned me off about them early on, because I was an established voice actor. And when you look at what some people who are successful on those sites are charging, it's really undercutting and underselling what actual industry rates should be. I have since figured out how to set up gigs in a way that I'm still being paid equitably for my work while still offering a kind of not necessarily a bargain, but a competitive rate to compete on those sites. You're almost learning a new skill in learning how to market yourself on a freelancing gig platform like Fiverr or Upwork. And in the future, I'll probably do a video on how voice actors can best position themselves on those sites after I've gained a little more data from how my gigs have performed. It's still really possible to build a real career from these platforms. You just have to know how, and you're going to have some patience. Method number 3 to going out and finding voiceover work, well, social media marketing. We're talking about X or Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. The advantage to social media marketing is that it is great for building your brand. Remember, as a freelance voice actor, you're not just a person, you are the business, and you want to become a brand. And social media marketing really gives you a prime way to do that. It also gives you the opportunity to network a little bit because other peers in your industry are going to take notice of you. Other people who might be potential clients are going to take notice of you. It's a great way to build some recognition and maybe a bit of a following, and referrals. You never know where those will lead. Now, the downside to social media marketing, it takes time. This is another thing that you're going to have to add to your calendar every day, every week, every month. It takes time, it takes consistency, and a little bit of tech savvy, particularly if you're using one of the video platforms like, say, TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. My tip here, and it's really something that I've done, is pick one platform and go all in. Pick the platform that you feel either the most comfortable with, you have the best potential for a following with, or that you just get the most excited about, and go all in on that platform. Don't try to do 4, 5, 6 different social media platforms all at once. Don't spread yourself too thin. Otherwise, the social media marketing is going to burn you out and you've not advanced yourself in your actual career any further. Pick one, go all in on it, and when you are dominating that platform, then you can think about expanding to another platform to add to your marketing efforts. Our fourth way to go out and find and book voiceover work might be one that's not quite so obvious, and that is email lists and content marketing. Yes, email still works. Building an email list is the way to help build long-term client relationships for yourself. Again, that's that brand recognition coming in. And you're building authority in your space. If you have a specific niche in voiceover that you're really an expert at, or you're really comfortable with, you're really passionate about, and you kind of go all in on that niche, and you start using that niche in your social media marketing and in your email marketing and content marketing, you become an authority figure in that niche and that space. And you're the one that people think about when they have a project involving that niche or that voiceover category. The word of mouth starts to build, and that can lead to future work and even more word of mouth and more referrals. It's a really powerful thing. And so if you don't have an email list yet, you are missing out on one of the most powerful long game tools. We all want the instant gratification, right? We all want the audition for a job, get the job, get paid, get it into our bank account. And those are important steps to take every day in your efforts to find work as a voice actor, but you also have to be thinking about the long game as well, and setting yourself up little by little, step by step, to really build something that's going to pay dividends for you later down the road as well. And hey, did you know that I have a weekly voiceover newsletter? Yes, I do. And in it, I keep you updated not only on all of my latest videos here on the channel, but I also give you a weekly voiceover challenge to complete to kind of help hone your skills. And I give you a peek behind my microphone with some real life stories of my journey through this industry, and suggestions on things that I'm enjoying right now, things that I'm recommending right now. It's a quick and easy read, comes out once a week, and if you'd like to start getting it in your inbox, just click the link down in the description to sign up. It is absolutely free. I'll never inundate your inbox with dozens and dozens of messages a day or each week. So click the link and join us. So we've had pay-to-play sites, we've had freelance sites, we've had social media marketing, and we've had email marketing. Method number 5 to finding and booking voiceover work is direct outreach or cold emailing, what used to be called cold calling. And if that made you absolutely cringe, hi, right there with you. If this is an intimidating one, I definitely understand that. However, here's the advantage to it. You aren't sitting and waiting around. You are initiating the introductions, the communication, and the steps that you have to take to find and retain new clients. And the clients that you get with this message will tend more often than not to be recurring clients because you are building a solid client relationship with them. So this basically means, you're going out and you are finding people or companies or marketing firms and so forth, and you are out of the blue just sending them an email to say, hi, my name is Amy. I'm a voice actor. Here's what I do. And I would be interested in speaking with you about opportunities that you might have for me to offer my services. That's scary, right? So the disadvantage here, you need to have a thick skin to do this. It is not for the faint of heart, and I am a self-admitted, even though I do this on YouTube and I used to be on television, I'm still kind of a shy person and I'm definitely introverted. So it's, still puts butterflies in my stomach if I have to cold email someone for the first time because I'm worried about, what they might say or if they might just ignore my email. Well, guess what? That's one of the disadvantages. The rejection rate, this method is really high. You are going to get a lot of no replies or thanks, but no thanks. So it takes a lot of resilience. But the good news is that can be learned and you can overcome that. If I can do it, you can do it. Believe me. It also takes time to do research because who do you email? Who do you contact? Well, you're going to have to sit down and do some research. Start researching companies, research people in the niches that you want to work in. So there is a time involvement. Again, this is another one of those kind of long game methods where you're going to put in a little bit of work every day or every month. And eventually it'll pay off with some new clients, many of whom will be recurring clients. My tip for you here, and this is another thing I'm going to get into a video here on the channel shortly about, is how to write those kinds of correspondence to potential clients. And so watch out for that. I'm even going to have some templates for you to take and use for yourself. But my tip right now about this is personalization is everything. Dear sir or madam isn't going to get you booked. You're going to need to really do that research and personalize your correspondence to the person that you are reaching out to. Now, method number 6 is one that I think a lot of people think of right off the bat, and that is hiring a voiceover agent. I'm going to be completely transparent on this one and tell you I have been doing this for 15 years, and I do not have, and I have never had, an agent. I have done all of my work completely on my own and have procured all of that work completely on my own. Having an agent is a completely personal choice. Just like joining the Actors Union, SAG-AFTRA, is also a personal choice, and that's a conversation for a different day. Having an agent, yes. The advantage to that, they are going to bring you really high quality and many times exclusive opportunities that are not available for you any other way, that they're not available for just open auditions. Usually the big companies go the agency route because they don't have time to waste listening to auditions that are useless. They want to go to an agent, and an agent will give them some really viable solutions or options to choose from. The disadvantages to having an agent. It's not something you can just go out and get as soon as you decide you want to be a voice actor. You typically need to already have experience in the field. And so you are going to have to do the legwork for yourself for a number of years before you can even approach an agent to review your portfolio to decide if they'll take you on or not. The other disadvantage is having an agent may be great, but they're not going to find all of your work for you. They are just going to find a portion of your work. They're going to expect you to still be out there looking for your own work as well. They are not just hire an agent and sit back and wait for them to send dozens and dozens of jobs your way every month. So agents can be a great part of your strategy. Just remember, they're not the whole strategy. Last but not least, method number 7 is networking, both online and in person. And again, for some people, this might be a difficult one, and it is admittedly one that I am not very good at. Now, the advantages to networking are pretty obvious. Building professional relationships leads to referrals and positive word of mouth. And having referrals, having someone who is credible in their own field say to another colleague or peer, oh, you're looking for a voice actor? I have the perfect person for you. I know exactly who you should call. That is the best marketing that you can get, and it's free. But it's also some of the hardest marketing for you to acquire because it means getting out there, putting yourself out there, meeting new people, and you have to actually work at building and fostering and nurturing genuine relationships, not ones that are just, oh, I just get in touch with you when I've got something to sell for you. Now, obviously, the disadvantages are that it can feel really awkward at first. And for some people, this is more difficult than others, but it does get easier. It does get more rewarding. And my challenge to you today would be just try reaching out to one person in the voiceover sphere this week just to connect. And if you say to yourself, well, I don't know anyone in the voiceover industry, well, you know me here at this channel. So if you want to just kind of introduce yourself to someone in the voiceover space, well, drop a comment down below and say hello, introduce yourself, and tell me what it is that you love about voiceover or what niche you want to specialize in. And sometimes just making that first introduction can kind of be your icebreaker to want to do it more often. So there you have it. There are 7 methods, real methods, proven methods, and ones that will book you work if you work hard enough at them for you to go out and find and book voiceover work so that you can start building or expand your already existing voiceover business. Because let me tell it to you directly, you are not going to break into the voice acting industry. I know that probably sounds harsh, right? Well, give me a chance to explain how you don't have to wait around waiting for your lucky break. In fact, that's really what you don't want to do if you want to be successful in this business. And if you want me to lay out the key methods to booking jobs, leveling up your skills, and turning your vision and your dream into an actual business, well, it all comes down to one key thing that you need to do. And I'll tell you all about it in this video right here. So click on it and I'll see you over there.